recall, relevant, right? I gave you guys a note and I tried to give you guys levels. If it was, if we had a hot CPI or a cold CPI, oh, I gotta go disclosure real quickly. Sorry, guys. Read the disclosure. You know the drill. My name is Scott Redler. You know who I am. Yes, yes, yes. Let's go. With that being said, again, the last 2 days we had two big binary events. What do we not do in two binary events? We don't go cajones to the wall any which way, okay? Especially, long in a bear market. But with that being said, everyone does what they want to do. I try and give some kind of leadership or approach, and I came in with a put spread and a call spread and Tesla and short Apple, whatever, very small. I did try and trade a little bit. We were up we're up 40 handles. So I tried buying 352 and traded down a little bit, lost a little bit of money, and now I'll wait till the first 30 minutes. But either which way, hopefully, you guys are feeling good that you've been tactical, you've been in boatloads of cash, because that's the way we've been pretty much the majority this year. We play the active sequences, and if you're getting some paper cuts, it happens. Again, your job is to not get put out of business, not do irresponsible things, to honor your process. So anyway, right now, if you go to the SPYs are at 349.85. Okay, so let's just go to the SPYs. Hold on a second. Oh. Sorry. One second. A lot of people calling, a lot of networks. Now the CNBC's pissed off me that I called out Cramer. You know what? Them. Friggin' CNBC. Jim Cramer, the last CPI, I think it was September 13th, when we went to tactical, when it was hot, we were up into it and got out of stuff and lost a little bit. That was 39.50. Today is calling people stupid at 3,500 for being long the stock market. Anyway, what did they do in back? What was back in? I don't know, whatever it was. Serenity Now. Anybody know that? Serenity Now. That was Seinfeld. I'm dating myself. So anyway, here's 355. We're well below it. Okay, let's go to the weekly chart. Remember on the weekly chart, we mentioned that what's it called? You have 350.50, which is right here. Okay, which we're basically a little bit below. So we'll see if we reclaim that. The put spread I have on is I have the 355s, and then I sold the 349s, thinking that 349 would be some support. We basically got to around that. So now we'll see what happens here. So what we want to do is we want to see what the first where we put on in some points of reference, some market discovery, where we put a potential tiny low in the first 5-15 minutes. Some people might want to wait 30 minutes. Some people might want to make 60 minutes. You don't know. We don't have to bounce at all today, but we might. So with that said, even into this, you might get a bounce and then continue lower. To press right here at 349 if you haven't traded yet, or 348, I don't think that's the perfect scenario either. For me, I'd rather wait to see if there's some divergences, if there's to see if the TLTs make new lows in the year, to see if the dollar makes new highs in the year, and et cetera, et cetera. But we'll cross our bridges as we get there. Right now, SPYs are right around here. So write this down. Write the pre-market low. The pre-market low is 348.53. 348.53 is your pre-market low. 348.53. That's a point of reference from pre-market. Sometimes it gets retested. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so that is that's right. That's a little bit below this. Okay, so I'm going to be focusing a lot on the SPYs and the Qs because there's liquidity there. I'm going to look at key stocks to see if there's any divergences. But here's 261. Q's range is tight below prior lows of the year. Hot CPI, see how it deals with 261. Does it hold or get and stay below? Well, the Q's went through like a knife through butter. And now write down whatever this low is. The low for the Q's are 254.63. So 254.63, right? 254.63. We're a little bit above that now. So with that said, then we'll see if that's the low or not. We're bouncing a little bit here. I don't think you really need to trade other sectors. I guess maybe energy. The XLE, if you look here, It's been showing some relative strength. Yesterday it held the 78 level. What's crude doing? Crude is down 1%, not a whole lot. It's at the USO is at still above 70.20. If this were to break 70.20, maybe the XLE doesn't hold. Right now the XLE is at 79. The XLE is still hanging in there. So just be a little careful that all of a sudden people want to sell everything, and then all of a sudden this 78 area breaks because it came all the way from 68. So I would watch this 78.29 spot. Does XLE hold it or not? And if you're trading some of those names, you can go to Oxy and say, hey, Oxy has Buffett behind it. Whenever Oxy gets into lower levels, he comes in and buys. He hasn't sold a share. I haven't really updated this chart in a while. I apologize. I would see, does this area hold? Okay, this area is 62.73. I think there was some kind of article out there that every time Oxy closes below 60 or gets below 60, that is where he has his buyers. So right now Oxy is $1.12 at 64. So it's below. It's not even below this yet. So Oxy, I'd watch that with the XLE if you're trading that. Okay, let's go back to Apple. It's below this 137.69. I would have liked to have been able to press it through. Now you have 133 and then 129. Apple hit a low of 133.50. So we'll see. I'm going to be trading Apple today and watching it. Yesterday in the afternoon, it got a lot weaker, for some reason. So maybe they knew this was coming. So again, 133, 129. That's where that's 133 would be my first real look to try. And then if it gets below there, just don't do anything, here. And obviously, it's going to drag down the SPYs and the Qs and not help the SPYs and the Qs. So that's 129. Inflation hasn't come. Okay. Okay. So that's that. Tesla. I thought maybe this red dog reversal could lead to a move to 225 or 233. That is why I took a call spread. Obviously not. Went a different way. This calculated play with risk defined will lose money. Okay, now maybe you can make some money trading. This is what? This is 206.86. We'll see, does 206.86 hold? Okay, or 207, like this area. Maybe some buyers come back, maybe they don't. So for Tesla, made a low of 208.33. So write down 208.33 for Tesla. That's the pre-market low. Write down 133.50 for Apple. That's that morning low. Okay, so you have the morning low in the SPYs and the Qs and Apple and Tesla. Those are important to me. Meta, I wouldn't even trade. I wouldn't trade Amazon. I wouldn't trade, I wouldn't trade Google. Maybe you could trade Microsoft. Microsoft is opening at a new low in the year. Maybe there'll be some buyers for Microsoft. Microsoft is below this 224 area. It's now down at 220. Holy cow. Thank goodness we haven't held Microsoft long for more than an hour in probably all of 2022. Again, we don't just sit in things. Again, we've been tactical. So listen, if you're having a year that isn't great, this has been one of the hardest markets in 30 years, unless you really just short every bounce or short every rally. And if you're good at that, great. Hopefully, then maybe you didn't do as well the last 10 years, or you're both sides. Which if you're that, then maybe you should be given the morning call. Anyway, but again, I'm just trying to give you the responsible way to go about this. So that's 224. Maybe let's look at the weekly for a second on Microsoft. The 200-day is here. So we're back below this. Here's 196. Where are we now? We're only at 220. What's this? This is 224. What's this? 212. So we're really in no man's land. We're opening below the 200-day Microsoft. You got to be careful. Let's see Meta on the weekly. Low here is what? This low is 123. Meta is almost a 123. Okay. That's a point of reference there, but then remember the monthly chart. Below 123, There's 113.55. All right, I guess Meta's worth a look at 123. That was, can't believe it. Remember, we're like, Meta's going to get to 123. You never know. That's why you don't catch a falling knife. That's why you don't close your eyes and go under the table. That's why you don't hide. You address whatever you're doing and, salvage trades and take small losses and figure it out based on what's happening actively, and right now we've been in an active bear trend. This has been in a macro bear trend ever since this false breakout up there. But anyway, I really don't think there's much more, to focus on. You got the TLTs. The TLT low of the year is 98.80. So below 90, where is that? It's below it. TLT is below that. Does TLTs get it back above it or not? Stays below it. Computers are programmed to sell. US dollar, is not at highs yet, which is 30.76. But as long as it gets above and stays above 30.53, which it's right a little bit above it now. So I would say if it goes back below 30.53, maybe that takes a little pressure off. If the TLT goes back above 98.80, maybe that takes a little pressure off. And then all you have is the pre-market lows, and then you'll have your 5, 15, 30-minute lows. And then you have more of your macro situations. And lastly, people like Red Dog, when are you going to put your third tier of your wife's blood in the street account because it's an intermediate account? I don't get paid off it monthly or quarterly. It's something that I try and buy into extremes, and so far it's done very well for a lot of you guys, including her. Right now, she's underwater on this second strategy that we've been doing, but it's fine. I actually said I want the market to go lower so I can get her all in. Last time, we put money to work in this blood in the street account. I bought some at I think 3,800 and then 36.40 almost had the bottom. And then I went to cash here at 42.80. So now bought one level, bought another level. Last time, I was only able to put half. So maybe this time we get to these two levels and then she's back to all in. And then if it takes 1 year, 3 years, or 5 years, it doesn't. I'm sure it'll be just fine. It just will take time, and that's what intermediate account to long-term accounts do. Same thing with, what's it called? 401k. Don't look at it. If you're 49 years old or 50 years old, you got a long time. After 2009, even the depths of 2009, we were back at all-time highs by 2013. It took 4 years. But then again, trading, know that. I just try and give you a little bit of everything because in complicated situations, I just try and lend experience, all across the board for everything that you're trying to do. I feel like as if I'm back in Colombia talking to my 10 friends who are between 45 and 55. Everybody's just like, what do we do for life? I'm like, what age is your kid? You're 12? You'll be just fine. You have 5 years. Your kid's a senior in high school and 40% of your 529 is there. Hopefully your program reduced, the exposure. If you were 75 and you didn't sell a share of everything and you needed to live, it's different than if you're 35 or 40 or 45. But again, back to today, SPYs are hanging in this range. We'll figure it out. Cooler heads will prevail. If you don't feel comfortable, then don't do much. If you're coming in cash, that's the way you should be. If you're coming in with some options where risk is premium paid, that's just fine too. Okay, that is what I've been teaching you to do in cases where things get a little extreme, especially into binary events. All right, guys, good luck.